The Rams may have just built an NFL monster, one that can win it all, even without Aaron Donald. But if Donald returns, this defense could become a nightmare. And suddenly, every Super Bowl contender has a massive problem.
How do you evaluate this Rams team without Donald, and then how high can they go with Donald?
Well, when I evaluate this Rams team, I hear so much about people saying that the San Francisco 49ers are so old. Well, why isn't that the story for the LA Rams? Look at their star players. Look at Matthew Stafford. Look at Davante Adams. Look at the defensive end they just got from Cleveland, Myles Garrett. If you bring Aaron Donald out of retirement, he's 35. He'll be 36 years old. So why aren't the narrative around the LA Rams that they're old? These guys have dealt with injuries as well. Matthew Stafford dealt with a back injury. Davante Adams, he dealt with hamstring injuries. So I think that when you start to look at this team, you have to taper your expectations, because at any moment they could deal with these injuries and Father Time could catch up.
So I'll say the reason why I think the Rams have been giving more grace than the San Francisco 49ers, they've been able to close the deal from a Super Bowl championship perspective. So that's why they probably get a little bit more grace than normal. And then when you have a guy like Matthew Stafford, who came into the league a long time ago, but had a back injury last year, and a lot of people thought that was going to hamper him, and he goes out and wins the MVP, that also gives you a little bit more grace as an organization.
Have you ever hurt your back?
Yes.
You know how that can just creep up on you, right?
It's a bad feeling.
Absolutely. So
it's a bad feeling.
I think that we should taper the expectations for those LA Rams right now.
If everybody's healthy this year, the Rams win the Super Bowl.
And I feel the same for the San Francisco 49ers. If everybody's healthy, the 49ers win the Super Bowl.
49ers?
How about that?
Absolutely. Christian McCaffrey, Mike Evans, Brock Purdy, the defense, and Bosa.
Really good team.
I believe that they could win it.
And we continue to be on Aaron Donald watch. Adam Schefter, what does this situation currently stand?
The Los Angeles Rams open the season 2 weeks from tonight. They're still waiting for an answer from Aaron Donald, who has worked out at their facility a couple of times, where the team has put him on the transaction wire as having put on the team equipment and worked out. He still has not finalized his decision. The two sides still have to figure out a contract, because right now he would count $30 million, which the Rams don't have the salary cap space to accommodate. So there are steps that have to take place before he can come back, if he decides to come back. The point is, with their season opening 2 weeks from tonight in Australia against the 49ers, Aaron Donald right now would seem to be on the clock. And I would think that we would have to get some sort of answer from him here sooner rather than later. There have been various people saying, oh, the answer could come earlier this summer, this weekend, the next week. Here we are, 2 weeks from the opener, and we are now at the time where you would think that conversations have to occur for both sides to figure out how they're going to proceed.
But the Donald situation isn't the only decision threatening to shake this Super Bowl contender. The next question could expose an even bigger gamble. Who do the Rams trust when everything suddenly goes wrong?
Who do you think deserves that spot? Stetson Bennett or Ty Simpson? Guys that you have been, I know you've scouted and looked at and written up a lot of things about. Who sticks out to you most?
It's funny. I don't want to echo Pete, but he's not wrong. Week 1 of the preseason, people couldn't quit talking about how good Ty Simpson was. And then he came back down to earth, which is just
peacocking all over the place. Yeah. We saw guys, I knew Ty Simpson.
I got a few texts from this guy about Ty Simpson in week 1. But in terms of Stetson Bennett, he knows the system. Yeah. He has been there. He also has not taken one regular season snap, but I think you would feel more comfortable with him in LA, because that team is a Super Bowl team. If you're in Cleveland or Atlanta, you can throw whoever you want out there and see what happens. But I think Stetson Bennett has earned that right, because if you lose Matthew Stafford for a game or two because he's banged up temporarily, I think you trust Stetson Bennett more. I mean, we'll find out. No one thought they would take the Rams take a quarterback at 13, but I think Stetson Bennett makes the most sense.
Stetson Bennett was outstanding the other day.
In preseason?
The week before preseason, but there were throws that were made. Yeah. When you watch Ty Simpson the week before, he did a lot of good things, bootlegging out. They made easy throws on him. Stetson Bennett made throws that you didn't think he could make the other day. And that tells you, I think he's ahead. And by the way, during the draft process, you heard and you saw, Sean McVay didn't exactly look like he was enamored with that pick, and they denied that to no end. Sean McVay loves Stetson Bennett, and I think Stetson Bennett will be the backup quarterback.
Even though he loves him, though, I don't know, one has to think, hey, Stetson Bennett played at Georgia. We were just talking about a certain team in the state of Georgia that maybe needs a quarterback. What do you think about that?
Well, no, I don't. I think they're going to keep him in L.A. And by the way, Stetson Bennett had the issues, and he was away from the game. And he's back now, and he's focused. And this version of Stetson Bennett looks like an NFL starting quarterback. He really does, if he can carry it and continue it over. But you hear a lot of good things about how he practiced, and that's why Sean McVay.
And that Ty Simpson pick, that wasn't for this year anyway.
No, it's for the future. But to me, that's why I lean Ty Simpson. I think you have to put into the equation where he's at. McVay, if he does have to play 1 or 2 games, you talked about how they kind of made a game plan easy for Ty Simpson. I think McVay will be able to do that. Now, does a team come knocking on the Rams' door and we need a quarterback? What if we give you a 5th round for Stinson? Would they be apt to give him away because they're comfortable with what Ty Simpson has done throughout the offseason and in training camp?
Do you think Ty Simpson is that much better than Stetson Bennett? Because I don't.
But as I'm saying, if it's even, why not just go with the young guys to back
even
up?
for the future.
I do.
Oh, no. Without a doubt, Ty Simpson's better.
We'll see.
Trajectory-wise, I think Ty Simpson's better.
The Rams may have quietly built one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL. And the craziest part is, Aaron Donald doesn't even have to come back for them to be a Super Bowl threat. Look at the names: Matthew Stafford, Davante Adams, Myles Garrett, and potentially Aaron Donald. But there's a question nobody seems to be asking enough. Why are the 49ers being called old while the Rams aren't getting the same treatment? Stafford is now 38 years old. Adams is entering his 13th NFL season. Donald would be 35 if he returns. And these aren't players who have avoided injuries. Stafford dealt with a back issue. Adams has dealt with hamstring problems. Donald would be returning after retirement. That's a dangerous combination, because one injury can completely change the story. The Rams deserve respect because they've already proven they can finish the job. They know how to win championships, and Stafford answered his doubters by coming off a serious back concern and delivering an MVP-level season. But that doesn't mean we should ignore the warning signs. And that's exactly why Aaron Donald's potential return could take this already dangerous roster into completely different territory. Let's make one thing clear. Without Aaron Donald, the Rams can win the Super Bowl. But with him, the ceiling becomes terrifying. Donald has already worked out at the Rams facility multiple times, and the team has remained interested in bringing him back. But there's one enormous obstacle: money. If Donald returned under the current situation, he could carry a $30 million cap charge, and the Rams don't currently have the salary cap room to simply make that happen. So the Rams aren't just waiting for Donald to decide whether he wants to play. They're waiting to figure out how they can actually make the comeback work. And time is running out. The Rams open the season against the 49ers on September 10 in Melbourne. So every day matters. Because imagine the defensive front with Myles Garrett on the edge and Aaron Donald attacking from the interior. Garrett forces quarterbacks to escape. Donald destroys the place they're trying to escape into. That's the kind of combination that can ruin an entire offensive game plan. But even if Donald returns, there is another problem hiding behind this star-studded roster, and it could become just as important in January. Because what happens if Stafford gets hurt? Maybe it's not season-ending. Maybe it's only 1 or 2 games. But for a Super Bowl team, 1 or 2 games can change everything. That's why the battle between Stetson Bennett and Ty Simpson deserves attention. Bennett has the obvious advantage. He knows Sean McVay's offense. He's been in Los Angeles. He understands the system and the expectations. But there's one massive problem. He has never taken a regular season snap. Then there's Ty Simpson. The young quarterback has shown flashes that have made people rethink this entire competition. In one preseason performance, Simpson completed 21 of 25 passes for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. Those numbers don't automatically make him the better quarterback, but they make the debate very real. If Stafford misses a couple of games, McVay probably trusts Bennett because of his experience in the system. But if the Rams are thinking beyond this season, Simpson could be the more intriguing option. And there's another twist. What if a quarterback-needy team offers Los Angeles a 5th-round pick for Bennett? Suddenly, the Rams have a decision. Keep the experienced insurance policy or trust the younger quarterback and build for the future. And that's why the Rams aren't simply trying to build the most talented roster. They're trying to survive everything that could go wrong. So here's the honest evaluation. If everyone stays healthy, the Rams can win the Super Bowl without Aaron Donald. And I would say the same about San Francisco if their key players remain healthy. But Los Angeles has something San Francisco doesn't quite have in the same way. Recent championship proof. They've already shown they can turn veteran talent into a championship team. Now they're betting they can do it again. Stafford gives them elite quarterback play. Adams gives them another weapon. Garrett gives them defensive destruction. And Donald, if he returns, could give them the final piece that turns an elite defense into something terrifying. But here's the uncomfortable truth. This team has almost no room for mistakes. At this stage of their careers, injuries aren't just setbacks. They could be the beginning of the collapse. That's what makes the Rams so dangerous and so vulnerable at the same time. Without Donald, they're a legitimate Super Bowl contender. With Donald, they could become an NFL nightmare. But if Father Time finally catches up with Stafford, Adams, or Donald, the monster everyone is talking about could suddenly become a team desperately trying to hold itself together. And that is the question nobody can answer yet. Are the Rams building another championship, or are they making one final all-in gamble before this window slams shut?
Yo, mic check 1 to 2, -1, -2. Game over for this video, folks. Smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to stay in the huddle for more. This is NFL Madness, bringing the heat and signing out.